Hi, everyone. In the past I was here, I usually talk about time management. And after a few of these events, I decided to move the topic to positive mindset because it's incredible how tiring it is to find a job, to look for it, and to have all sorts of rejection and emotion going on. So I thought that this one was a topic that is, while it's very close to my heart, I think is more useful for you. Now, let's see if I can do that. Oh, okay. So you already mentioned more of these things. So there is quite a lot going on in my life, like in anybody else's life. It's pretty busy. I also have 2 kids. I work as a project management. I have quite a lot. So I understand what does it mean to have tons of things to juggle. So today we talk, as I say, first of all, we give a look at the job hunting market, about all the emotional roller coaster that comes with it. So what are all those challenges? And then we will introduce the positive mindset, what it is. And we'll go a bit more into details about why is that important when you're looking for a job. What is the benefit for you as a person? Because the positive mindset is not just for job hunting, but in general for all the adversity, all the challenges that we have in life. And this one is particularly worrying because, as we were saying, there is a lot at stake. There is your houses, there is your children, there is your satisfaction as a person, your self-realization. So there is not much I'm sure that you all know what are the challenges that you're facing daily. So there is a lot of the high competition, the market is very high. Lately, there is a little more of generic rejection. Before, we were used to have a bit more feedback. They will tell you what didn't go well, why you were not fitting. But now there is a lot of automation going on. So a lot of the applications are read by robots, and the generic answer that we get is auto-generated. So there is not a person behind that. And that makes it even more frustrating because there is a bit of a loss and connection with other people. And also there is this time-consuming process that takes days, weeks, months even sometimes. And with this come this emotional roller coaster that I was talking about, because of course, as human beings, we get attached to something. So you see a job position that you like, you start seeing yourself in the company, it's a great opportunity, so you apply for it. There is all that hope, all that high. And then maybe we have that rejection. Or maybe we need to go for that interview and we are so tense, so nervous. We prepare for it, we give our best. And then there is all that waiting. There is the uncertainty, there is the rejection, there is the fact that actually goes over for a long time. And our body, our brain is not meant to actually jog that kind of emotions and even the chemical reaction in our brain for that long. And so we start ourselves into those inner critic traps, right? We start saying things like, oh, I'm not good enough. They're not responding to me because I'm not good enough. Or we will say, I maybe need to just stick to the old job that I was doing. But then what is the old job? Is still there enough opportunities? Am I really able to do something different? You start doubting yourself. You're not recognizing what are your skills, what are the things you can do. So you start restricting your field. And then you say, oh, I failed again. When the next email comes, when the next call even comes, there is a lot of depression going on. There is a bit of low moods, let's say. Or even worse, when they don't reply for a long time, there is a lot of that gloom going on, a lot of that. This is normal, this is not helpful for you. So let's talk about mindset. What is mindset? Is not a one thing, is several things put together that make your mindset. It could be your mental attitude, but it's also your belief. And your belief is something that has been created ages ago. They usually start they're formed at the time that you're 5 even. So it's about, I'm good at doing this kind of things. I'm completely not good at doing that kind of things. I'm very peculiar, I'm very particular, or I can be precise. I'm good at maths, I'm not good at maths, that kind of things that actually are building into your self-confidence. There are your values as well. So what is the things that you value the most? What is your thought process? How do you think about things? And what is your perspective? So it's all a matter of different things that play in your mind when you're taking a decision, when you're facing an experience, and how do you respond to that? So there is a difference between, and probably people might have heard about this, the grow and the fixed mindset. So the fixed mindset, we start from that, is the one that is avoiding the challenge, is the one that is stuck in one position, the one that doesn't think that can learn something new, that see a challenge as something that is just going to become a failure. So any effort is actually meaningless. Whatever you do is not going to change. They're not going to answer. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I'll never be able to do it. That's your narrative there. And you believe that you have fixed abilities. You don't believe that you actually can improve. You don't believe that you can be flexible enough to go somewhere else. However, if you go more into the grow mindset, more into that kind of positive mindset, you are more open to try new things. So you're more open to say, if this job title doesn't work, what else can work? You can look outside with more hope, with more curiosity, and that will open doors naturally for you. You can accept feedback. And as I say, we don't always have feedback in today's job hunting market, but sometimes we do have feedback. So maybe we might go for interviews, we might have the first one, and then they say, it didn't go well. But we can accept feedback, and we can also realize, okay, what can I do better next time? And also, not receiving feedback is a feedback itself. Maybe my CV didn't pass the ATS, it didn't pass the technology that is read in the CV. So what else can I do differently? How can I go around it? Maybe I try to use more the recruiting agency, so I can actually talk to a person instead of just send my CV to a machine. Maybe I can see if I know anybody in that company that can make me in contact with the person that is hiring and is actually looking at my CV. So, you start actually seeing different paths in front of you. I don't receive any feedback by doing this. What else can I do? And you build new abilities, even just that, even just this curiosity, even the thing of solving a problem that for you is important. What is the different things that you can do? And you accept the challenges. Actually, you start seeing them with curiosity. So you don't feel defeated when something is coming your way, but you accept it. This is, however, difficult to keep when it's for a long time, right? So we go a bit more into the why the positive mindset is actually helping you when you're job hunting. So we were saying you can bounce back from rejection. So you don't take it anymore as something personal. It's not you being a failure. In that moment, that application was probably not passing the ATS, or maybe there was somebody that was better than you positioned for that particular job. Doesn't mean that you are bad. You don't generalize. You're not a failure. And then you keep improving. So you open to new skills. Maybe you look more in detail at the job description. What is actually that they're looking for? Is there something that I'm missing, and am I upskill? Easily even. There are LinkedIn courses, or can I even talk to people? Can I try to learn more about these particular things that they ask in their job description, but I don't have any experience about? How can I go about it? And then you can change, and you can, as we were saying, this is all sharpening your approach when you're actually looking at jobs. Sending just the same CV several times might not give you the same result. Will not give you any better results because it's still the same. You keep doing the same thing and you expect different results. And this is going to go even more into the sort of treadmill of negativity because you're still having negative feedback from outside. And then, as I say, you start embracing more the change. So you start thinking about a big job is not scary. It's actually exciting. What if I land that big job? It's going to be life-changing. What if I actually don't see that very difficult interview as something that is scary? What if I just imagine I can be successful in that? Somebody's going to take the job. Why not you? And stay resilient. Resilient is very important in job hunting because of the length of time that can actually take to do a job, to land a job. It can be on for months. So you need to stay motivated. You need to keep optimistic. You need to be able to be sharp. So if you get into that kind of closed mindset, what's happening is that every time that you apply yourself for another job, maybe your application is going to be always a lower and lower grade, you know? Instead of improving, instead of actually fighting back more, you start kind of accepting your fate. And then the adaptation to change. There is somebody that was asking me, you know, has been out of the market for a while, but now the job title, they don't say much anymore. They're very different. So you really need to go fishing into the job description to understand what it is about. And they're so new. Who knows? You know, you need to really make sure that you know what is that you can do and how does this overlap with the job description. So you need to stay curious. You need to be able to adapt to change. You need to be able to up skills. And it's all tiring, but that's the reality we are facing. So you need to adapt. You need to change because everything else is changing. You build more confidence because you focus more on what are you learning. You train to improve yourself. You see the changes, and you know that maybe something is still changing in positive, even if it doesn't look like it's changing at the moment. So pretty much having a positive mindset, it means that you are shifting. You are moving from that judgmental of yourself, of the person also in front of you, of the system, and you get more empathy for yourself. You get more understanding of things that are outside of your control. So there is no point of actually fighting it because they're going to stay the same. You're just going to be more tired and more unable to fight it back. So you move from what fear to curiosity. You stop being skeptical for the big job, for the big interview, for the big company, and you start being more curious. What can I do? What can I do, and why can I not apply for this job? Is it a real limitation? I mean, of course, if you are trained in one sector and you want to go in something that is completely different, I'm not telling you that is possible, but there is a lot that you can do, a lot more. And then you move from that control to trust. You stop trying to control everything. You start trusting that what you're doing is eventually going to show something good for you. It's going to make that simple difference in your next application. So, as I say, this is something that might go on for a long time. So the way to actually keep up your positive mindset is through daily habit. And I know that maybe, especially when you start at the beginning of this journey, it sounds like a lot of fluff. It sounds like something that is not going to make any difference. The first one that I have is morning gratitude. You know, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And you feel like, how is that going to change? How is that going to change anything about my job hunting? It's just changing the way that you approach life. I had recently a client, and when she started with me, she was in burnout. She was still working. She was working in a very important company. She was very well paid. But she said, I need to change the job. I cannot stay with this anymore. So she changed. She actually resigned without having any job. And we did all a journey on exactly this, trying to have a better mindset, be a bit more open to this kind of things. And she landed a new job in, well, she was probably lucky also for the industry, but she landed it very quickly. And then there is the strengths exercise. Strengths is something important for you also as a job hunters. You can find out what is your strengths doing a very easy exercise online in the VIA. And applying your strengths every day brings more resilience and actually make you more happy. So what's next? Because I know we are on time frame, but so if you want, I have actually a free workbook that you can get. It's about the 5 daily habits that you can use for building up your mindset, your positive mindset. And if you want, I also can give you the time management that, as I say, I was talking about in the past in the Job Expo. And if you want, you can give me a call. My first session is free. We can have a chat. And you can see if it's something that you can work on. You can even just have some advice and bring it from there. That's it. This is my contacts. You need it.